All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave back again, talking real music in real time for, a few real people out there just like you and just like me. Uh, Pink Floyd, they have a new song out, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, that would be worthy of at least one Holy Crap Batman. In this case, it might be Holy Crap Robin. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this. The new song is called Hey, Hey, Rise Up. And I've gone and listened to it. And yes, Nick Mason is sounding like Nick Mason. David Gilmour plays some really decent guitar on this record. And it's basically Gilmour and Mason who are making up the band these days, as well as bass player Guy Pratt and keyboardist Nitin Sawhney. But the vocals aren't those of David Gilmour or Nick Mason, for that matter. The vocals were basically taken from Andrei Kalivniuk. I'm doing my best here. Andrei Kalivniuk. He's in a band called Boombox, a Ukrainian band. Okay, so if you didn't already figure this out, the song is devoted to Ukraine. Again, it's called Hey, Hey, Rise Up. And of course, it's not sung in English. It is sung in Ukraine or Ukrainian. Hey, Hey, Rise Up marks the first new original music Pink Floyd have recorded together since their 1994 album, The Division Bell. The largely instrumental 2014 LP, The Endless River, featured music recorded during the Division Bell sessions. The band recorded the song on March 30th and pulled Kalivniuk's vocals from an Instagram post of him singing in Kiev. Okay. The song title is inspired by the lyrics to The Red Viburnum in the Meadow, a Ukrainian protest song written during World War I, which Kalivniuk was singing in the video. The last line of the song translates to Hey, Hey, Rise Up and Rejoice. David Gilmour, who has a Ukrainian daughter-in-law and grandchildren, said in a statement, "We, like so many, have been feeling the fury and the frustration of this vile act of an independent, peaceful, democratic, country being invaded and having its people murdered by one of the world's major powers." Well, on the surface, that seems rather compelling. And I didn't know that David Gilmour had a Ukrainian daughter-in-law. Gilmour first became aware of Kalivniuk, I'm killing this, not in a good way, in 2015 when he played a show in London in support of the Belarus Free Theatre, an underground theater group whose members often risk persecution. Boombox were scheduled to play that night, but Kalivniuk couldn't make the show due to visa problems. So the rest of Boombox backed Gilmour for his set and dedicated Wish You Were Here to him. So apparently this was kind of a relationship that had been going for a long time between Gilmour and this guy Kalivniuk. The song itself, I think that's probably what most people want to know about. I did go listen to the song. And yeah, David Gilmour playing some really great guitar on this. Nick Mason sounding like Nick Mason. I always miss the great Rick Wright, who passed away back in, I think, 2008, if I recall. Maybe before that, I'm not sure, but right around that time. And his work with Pink Floyd was very important in keeping that band afloat after the split between Gilmour and Roger Waters. This seems like something that Roger Waters might do. So it's kind of interesting, although I'm not sure what Roger thinks of any of this stuff. This has been the drumbeat throughout the media, and maybe Waters agrees with Gilmour, but Obviously, not enough to join Gilmour on this song, and that would have given this a lot more weight. The fact that the song is not sung in English and the vocalist, I don't know. I'm just listening to it, thinking, yeah, this guy, he's not the best singer, okay. And I know, uh, Pink Floyd was never known for their great vocals between Gilmour and Roger Waters, but I think they were clever enough to really pull it off and make it work. And I think Gilmour is probably maybe the better singer, or at least the more palatable singer, although the material that Waters writes, I think his voice is appropriate for the kinds of songs that he writes. Like, who else could sing Mother? Nobody else could sing Mother but Roger Waters, even though it's been attempted. And Waters last year during the lockdown put out some really strong performances of Pink Floyd songs and solo work. And I was really impressed by that, because it almost seems like Waters has a lot of gas left in that tank of his. And if these two could get together again, which the rift has only grown worse because Gilmour, because he kind of owns the brand, when he does something and Waters just can't stand it, which has been a lot of the time, it doesn't make for any harmonious reunion opportunities. It's not going to be like these guys will get together again. I'm thinking that Waters probably still feels as though, hey, this brand that I helped create and I helped pioneer, and really up until the final cut, I think Roger Waters was a guy who was very important to the sound of Pink Floyd. And by the way, when you go back and listen to the final cut and you understand why it was written and the context, it was kind of a power play by Roger Waters, but he had a lot of these ideas, and musically not the strongest ideas, but maybe lyrically and thematically some very important stuff that came out on that album. Although a lot of Pink Floyd fans who aren't real hardcore don't know that much about the final cut. The point being is that this really doesn't feel like Pink Floyd to me. See, this is the power of branding that, again, David Gilmour can go out there and say, hey, this is Pink Floyd, go check it out. And millions of people are going to do it, because literally there has not been anything new put out under the Pink Floyd banner since 2014. And as you heard here, that was kind of a rehash or leftovers from 1994. So this was a pretty momentous occasion to use the brand to create all of this awareness. And I don't think this, as a commentator here, is cut and dry. It isn't as cut and dry as people think it is, although you're being told every single day who the good people are, who the bad people are. When they said democratic and they're describing Ukraine, I had to scoff a little bit about that, because if you know the history of the country and you know what's been going on the last 8 years, you know that some people, especially in the eastern part of that country, have not had it all that well. In fact, it's basically within the country, there was a war, and there were people that were shooting and there were people that were hiding or that were covering. And that's the extent of that. And I think that's an important element as to why this is happening now. And nobody is asking any questions. You've just got these generic platitudes, or everybody rise up. Okay, but what are we rising up to do? I think that would be another question to ask. So in any event, go listen to the song. It does at times remind one of Pink Floyd, maybe in the 90s or the 80s, and maybe even further back. I mean, Gilmour is such a distinctive player, and Nick Mason he's just a solid rock, a timekeeper like nobody's business, and you couldn't get a computer to do what Nick Mason does. So it's still interesting to listen to. It's a long way from Pink Floyd in their heyday, and to have this other singer out there singing, it just, I don't know. Just from a simplistic point of view, I don't think that should be Pink Floyd. It should be this Ukrainian guy featuring David Gilmour and Nick Mason. That would be far more appropriate branding. But, you know, if you want to raise awareness and possibly have people sending money, to where are they sending this money, and where is that money going to go, and who's in charge of that money when it gets there? These are all things people have to kind of wrap their brain around before they just support the next cause. For me, seeing our country, the United States, in so much turmoil and getting worse every day, I think we all need to step back and choose our causes wisely. That's all I'm saying. All right, people, done with this video. Thanks for watching. You could support the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell if you want notifications, not the division bell, just hit the regular bell, right? And Patreon for just $1 a month. And you can do more if you'd like. And we have a lot of great patrons joining each month. We have a few that leave because of economic circumstances or because I've said something that they may not agree with, and they probably think, okay, he was cool up until he said that, but we're just going to, you know, spend our money at Starbucks. I get it. All right. You can give up Starbucks and easily support this channel. You'll have tons of money if you give up Starbucks. So in any event, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.